Sounds like there's a bad connection, but not on your radios. The Old Tube Radio Network standing by.
Number 7.
45. Station.
All right. We've got SWL 7 and 45. Give me a second here to make sure that we've got everybody that wants to get in. And then station, which I think is 93. Is that for an SWL check-in?
Yes, sir. SWL 93 wants to check in. He's late, but he wants to check in.
All right. Well, we can do that. Thanks, Louis. We will get you checked in here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for listening. And we are going to get some radios checked in here because that is what we do. That is why we are here, to make sure that we can promote the use and distribute information about Old Tube radios, and we'll do that through the courtesy of our tube radio operators. SWL7 is Mr. Ed, and we will head over to him right now.
Oh, well, in that case, looks like my little winking and blinking eye is doing what it's supposed to. Needle is swinging forward, so therefore, it's a Robin. T123, no B.
Okay, and our secondary camera is functioning, but it's not being allowed to insert its video on the YouTube tonight. So might be seeing a lot of me, but we will be hearing the radio. So those of you who have taken copious notes over the last 34 years. Bring up your imaginations as we talk to the radios. Give me another transmission on, I believe you said it is the Robin, over.
That is correct, the Robin T123, and this one has the D104, was a TUG8 stand, so it is amplified.
Okay, that works well with the D104. I know they also have, what's it called, the MT1 desk mic that is made for that radio, but I think that it's a great combination for that radio. Plus, you've got to have something with a little bit of audio power to make that magic iTube jump around.
Oh, and it's definitely doing the jumping around thing. It's always fun to babble into it just to watch the needle or the meters or the lights go back and forth. And, of course, needles swing also.
And it has very good fidelity and very loud audio, as most of the Robins do. The T123 from, I'm going to say that went up to about 1972. When they went to the 123B. So let me make sure I can get a picture up at, if anyone wants to see what the Robin looks like, we'll have a picture over at oldtuberadio.net of the 123, and there it is now. So give us another transmission, and thanks for getting us started off.
There you go. Yep, looks a lot like that radio right there. Pretty much same condition. That one looks very nice. Definitely one of Cliff's nicer radios. I would love to have that microphone he has, but like you said, the D104 works.
And works quite well, I might add. 11 tubes, 2 transistors thrown in for good measure. Can run 12-volt DC if you have the right power cord coming out the back. And sounds good right now on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for bringing it by.
Oh, and thank you, and I'll get another one ready.
All right, thanks. Next, we are going to head over to Paul up in the town of North Fork. Hello, 45.
Hello, Dennis. Boy, tie and all. Man, okay. Anyway, I want to check in my Brown & Eagle R27 S23 Series 2.
Okay, the R27 S23 Series 2, the R27 S23, I guess known as the first Eagle, and we'll give you or let you take a transmission. Maybe we'll find out what the difference might be between a Series 1 and a Series 2. I'll show a picture. The extra piece is the 180 amplifier, if you're looking at the picture, but that is the unit. Make that on the air light light up.
it had quite a few things they did to as far as spatial, and they did a lot of things inside the radio. They put a 5763 and a D6BQ5 modulator in the thing and beefed it up a little bit from the old tube. They also put in 2 cascade investors in the receiving part. Well, I'll tell you what, this thing's got really good receive. It'd be hard to check in other ones I got warming up, but yeah, at least I can hear you real well. But makes up for last weekend. I got more things to say. Back to you.
All right. Well, it does sound good. It's Radio 2. It's got nice audio. The Browning Eagle, not the Golden Eagle, but the Eagle, the R27S23. That is the set. The R27, the receiver, of course. The S23, the transmitter. Some of the differences from the Series 2 are larger meters, the neon modulation indicator, and the lighted on the air indicator. So I was looking to see where that neon modulation indicator is. Okay, I see it. Right, it looks like it's below one of the meters there.
Yeah, this, when I got you on here, I'd like to have you check this microphone out. This is my Turner Plus 3 microphone, the ones I love to run these things on any radios. And I've got the stock banana mic here, and I'd like to get both of them on if you can wait just a little bit more, will you?
Yeah, let's do that. We'll go ahead and switch it, do the old switcheroo now, and we'll see what the difference might be. I apologize for my receive tonight. It's got a lot of noise that I don't normally have, so I've got the RF gain cranked back just a little bit. Plus, we're archiving, so we'll always be able to go back and listen in. So we'll see what happens with the different microphonium here. Yeah, the audio percentage is definitely down from that. The quality is not bad. My guess is that Browning has been tuned. The audio, incoming audio has been tuned to work with an amplified microphone, because the stock audio, which can often be really loud on a Browning, is a little bit soft. So you do definitely have to be right up on the microphone. Over. All right, before you go, I want to check to make sure we don't have a loose wire, because your audio was almost non-existent that time, so I don't think you've changed anything. You do have to stay close to the microphone, but that time it was extremely weak, and I didn't catch a lot of that. So let's make sure there's not a bad wire or didn't engage on the contacts all the way. Try another transmission.
Yeah, I have to get you to back off them. It does sound better now.
Yeah, that sounds good. I hear the ping. If I hear the ping coming in on the key down, I'm going to assume that it's the microphone element is working. It's hearing the receiver come back. So that was better. Over.
Yeah, okay. Well, I got to remember just to push it right against my upper lip, just about the top of the thing. It's a nice, comfortable mic to run. It's an banana mic, an Eagle mic. I like the sound and the ease of getting in front of the microphone, especially the desk mic. You just push the button and you go. Crazy, I guess. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thanks for bringing it by. That is the R27S23. If you're at old2radio.net, you will see an advertisement from S9 magazine in 1966, where they're touting the new Eagle, the new Browning Eagle, and also its counterpart, we've heard here on the Old Tube Radio Network, the mobile version called the Raven from Browning Laboratories in Laconia, New Hampshire. If you're watching the video, our secondary camera is not being accepted. The switchover is not being accepted on YouTube tonight, so going to be a lot of me rather than the radios until at some time we can get them to recognize that the camera's there. It is functioning. It does show up on the Skype input, so I'm not sure exactly. They've changed some rules or what have you, but it didn't fire up all the way. Radio number 2, the R27S23 Series 2 from Browning. Thanks, Paul, for that, and the old Tube Radio Network standing by.
Number 7.
Standing by for number 7. Go ahead.
This time the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223.
All right, I know we have some E.F. Johnson fans out there, so let me find a picture and take a transmission on the 223.
Oh, there we go. Yep, nice, simple little radio. The 223's got your signal strength meter, of course, 23 channels, squelch, volume, place to plug in the mic, which has to be plugged in for it to have a receive, and there we go.
And the microphone, is it the standard Johnson issue, or no? You've done something else on that one, right?
Yes, I did not get the original microphone with this one, so it has a Silver Eagle connected, and it works.
No, it works well. Sounds very good. Just curious on the looking at the picture there, it's got the nice big large S meter. When you transmit, when you key for the transmitter, what does your does your meter indicate anything, or does it just go back down to 0?
No, it also shows signal strength out also on transmit. So yeah, shows it receive and also transmit. In fact, shows I got a little bit of wiggle in it.
Okay, that was what I was wondering, because a lot of the radios sometimes have switchable SRF or whether they're relay connected to change over, but not ever having a 223. I've got the Viking Messenger, but of course it doesn't have the S meter, so I want to make sure that they did that. Plus, I think, is that the one that it's electronic switching, so if you pull out the microphonium, you do not have receive audio?
That is correct. You pull out the microphone and no receive, it shuts down.
All right, well, I guess it's not shut down, but it's just not getting to the, everything's still up, it's just not getting to the speaker. From 1969 through about 1972, this was the top of the line from the E.F. Johnson, their Messenger 2, with the addition of all 23 channels and the S meter, and a very popular seller, not only for E.F. Johnson, but they also had a model that they made for Sears Roebuck. So some of you might have seen or have had at one time the SR Sears Roebuck version of that Johnson, but same radio. Originally sold for about $200. If you added the desk mic, might cost you $10 or $15 more than that. Give us another transmission on Radio 3, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, sounding good. Thank you, Ed.
Oh, and thank you. And with that, I'm going to definitely get in another one.
Let me try the Jingle Singers again. Bozo Control is not here tonight, so I'm kind of on my own for solving any cabling issues and keeping the Jingle Singers near the ribbon microphones instead of heading out to the donuts in the other room. So we'll try to get. This is the Your Old Tube Radio Network, and it's still not there. So I'm not sure. So I hear that we have a connection somewhere. Seller. All right, so something is up. We'll be back in a moment to see if we can get this working. So some of you might. Could it be that things actually go better when Bozo is here?
45.
Hello, 45. Paul, over.
Yeah, I didn't know somebody was stepping on somebody there or not, but I could hear some squelch. He was changing tones, so he must have a little slip out there. Anyway, I want to check in my T-Berry Model T 23 channel.
Okay, we haven't had a T-Berry in a while, and I think there are a couple of versions. There's a 40 channel and a 23. You've got the 23, so we'll see if we can bring up a shot of that. And there we go. And in fact, it appears to be the very radio on which you might be transmitting over.
Yeah, okay, I'm getting your, somebody hanging riding your carrier in, but I hope you can hear me. Anyway, yeah, this is manufactured in Japan by Panasonic, all tube. The other one's the 40 channels, of course, they're hybrids. This thing's an all tube, real strong, nice radio. You know how they're built. They're built like a tank. They did a good job on it. Back to you.
Yeah, all the Panasonic chassis radios, there were maybe 5 or 6 models, 23 channel style, and then they also made a 40 channel version. All have the great audio and seem to have held their own quite well. So if you've got one of the import radios, the all-tube import radios, regardless of the make or model on the front, you are probably going to be doing okay. What we're talking about now is Radio 4. It's Paul. It's his T-Berry Model T. You can see the radio if you're at oldtuberadio.net. Yeah, there's the channel 1. Okay, here's a question. You might not know because you're parked at channel 11. But on the rotary dial, when you go to channel 1, can you go directly to channel 23 from there, or do you have to go all the way back around? I believe on my Regency Imperial, you have to, if you're at channel 23 and you want to get to channel 1, you have to skip back all the way, reverse back to 22, 21, 20 to get back to channel 1. Just wonder if you can, if you don't have to do that on the T-Berry.
Yeah, stand by just a minute. I'll get back to you.
All right, maybe we'll sell a radio. Maybe someone will say that's a good selling point. They monitor channel 1 and 23. Not a big deal. But I remember my first radio was a Realistic Navajo. Their TRC-23 was the first ones they made. And I got so used to spinning that dial around and go from 1 to 23 when I got the Regency Imperial. I really, I'd be on 22 and I want to get back down to channel 2 and I had to go through all the channels again, which is no big deal, but we'll see.
Spin it around and around and around any way you want to go backwards too.
All right, well, we'll keep it at channel 11 on Saturday nights, and that will be a good thing. Radio number 4, it's from T-Berry. It's their Model T, and it is the early version, the early 23-channel version. I heard a lot of those when I first got into CB, and they were always good-sounding, loud-sounding radios, as is yours. Back to you for transmission, and thanks for bringing it by on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Yeah, there's also a place in there where you can put another crystal in the thing between 22 and 23. Oh, yeah, they had all the bases covered on this baby. By the way, I'm able to adjust that carrier or whatever it is right here with the fine-tune on this thing. It's got a nice fine-tune on it. Anyway, thanks for checking it in, Darren.
Yeah, I think the earlier models that weren't using a PLL chip, that were using the synthesized crystals, allowed for that, because you had the 10 kilohertz spacing. So you had 22A, which was usually the space between 22 and 23, which there was a 22A and a 22B, which were the RC channels, eventually became channels 24 and 25 in the band plan. But there was a way. I remember my Navajo, there was some wire you had to open up and cut or unground something, and you would get that secret channel. So don't tell anybody. Thanks for radio number 4.
Thanks for checking it in, Dan.
And just a reminder here at the top of the hour, you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio Schooling in the Dark. We are in our 34th year on the air here at 27085 of doing exactly what you are watching and listening to is talking to our tube radio operators and checking out the collections and seeing what's new and seeing what the microphones might do. And hopefully wherever you are, you're able to do something like that once a week, whenever it might be. Get on the air and have a radio night. Doesn't quite have to be old radios or not, but it's kind of fun to do it like it used to be done and get out there and talk on the radios. We are looking for radio number 5, but first let's see if the jingle singers are working. We've traced down some of the cabling, but that doesn't mean anything here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
And we were looking for radio number 5.
Number 7?
And number 7 might be number 5 over.
I think I could do that with a Tram TR27E, 23-channel transmit and receive.
All right, you have indeed done that because I'm logging it in. And that will be our first tram of the evening. The Tango Romeo Charlie 27E. There were a series of TR27s from Tram. I think this, in at least in the letter models, is the latter one. There was a C version, and I think there was just a 27, and they were doing various peaking and tweaking and changes on the front and changes in the back, but this one sounds pretty darn good. Let me click on a shot here for our SWLs over at oldtuberadio.net, and I think we might actually be inserting the one on which you're talking.
Yep, that would be a picture of this very radio. Yeah, the E model was the first one that was had all 23 transmit channels in it. The other ones, I don't think, had the full complement of 23 channels.
And back in the early and mid-'60s, that wasn't unusual to not have 23 channels because everything was still crystal per channel controlled, and it did keep the cost down by not having all the channels in. It kept the radio a little bit smaller by not having all those crystal socket positions, whether they were somewhere in the chassis itself or like some radios did, they stuck them on the tuner, or the spin tuner, and you had rotating crystals. This is a big radio, so I think you could pretty much have all 23 channels and even more and still have plenty of space over.
Oh, yeah, and in fact, I guess because of the changing of the crystals, right on the very top of the radio, right-hand corner, there's a little access panel. 2 little screws come out, and right there's all your crystals.
Oh, all right. Well, good. I think they, like I said, they already have the 23 channels in, so typically that was something they did on the radios that you would need to add the crystals to get all the channels where you had to unplug things. Let me switch from the picture of the radio to an advertisement from CB Horizons magazine, October 1963, and this is over at oldtuberadio.net. Again, on the video side, the secondary camera is not being accepted by Google tonight. Somehow it's not seeing the second camera, even though it is functioning. And Tram was not scared to tell you how to do a little peeking and tweaking on the radios. They show a service tip on their advertisement about tuning the 31.5 MC First conversion receive oscillator. So if you had the magic screwdriver, you had the blessings of Tram, I suppose. Radio number 5, give us another transmission on the TR27E, always sounding good, especially with the microphone you got.
Oh, yes, and of course, with the old radio, got to have an old microphone. The Electro Voice 638, and they pair up fairly decent. Tried a lot of microphones on here one night, and this is the one that sounded the best, so left it there.
All right, and we're glad you did, because it always makes a nice sound for the Tram, and I'm sure as an operator it looks pretty cool in the station as well. The TRC27E from Tram, and Ed over there in Fresno. Thanks.
Thank you.
and that is a very close-up of the front side of that 638 Electro Voice microphone. And I hear a 45. Hello, Paul. Over.
Yeah, you may have a little trouble hearing me on this old radio. It's a helicopter VB7, little phone.
All right. You know, I'm a Hallicrafters fan. And let me see if we've got a shot of the CB7. They made a lot of the little phones, a lot of the CB items. It's showing that it's not there. So I'll see if I can find something. In the meantime, give me a call. I'm going to say that doesn't quite have the power output of the Browning, but I can hear you. Over.
I wish I could hear you well. If I could hear enough Browning with this thing, but I can't. I just that little 7 tuber is what it is. But the neatest lid on the thing, and you can open it up. The adjustable lamp hinges on the thing. You just hinge it, and this opens up, and you get into the tube, and everything's right there in front of you. Very nice idea we have. All steel cabinets, too. Really nice. Thank you.
Okay, I think I've got something similar. Chris mentions the same thing about his CB3A, which is a very similar model. That they really make it nice, like you said, almost like a lunchbox where you can pop the top off there and get in to check your tubes and change crystals. And I believe that radio also had the options on either side of the channel selector where you could put in an S meter if you took out the rectangular panel, or a receive tunable VFO if you pulled the panels out that way. But Hallicrafters in the 1940s and 50s, also in the 60s, making amateur radio gear and some very great classic receivers. If you Google Hallicrafters, you will no doubt come up with one of their many receivers that they, shortwave receivers that they did. And then in the late 60s, I think most of their items were imported out of Japan. They became a subsidiary of the Northrop Aircraft Corporation, but we're still putting out some fairly decent equipment. Give us another transmission on the Hallicrafters CB7.
Okay, well, this picture is pretty close. This one here is all the crystals and everything on the top up there. Down this down here, down the middle part there. The other one is very close to the same radio, definitely. The switches and everything is a very transmitter, a little different. But it is close. There's a stop mic on this thing. I can't give it any help at all. You have to listen to the way it is. It's hardwired into the radio. And as long as you have one little light on this thing, well, it's not a light that comes on when you first turn it on. Give you the channel number, which is I'm on B, and it's got a 6 channel on the thing. All crystal control. And like a little modulation right down the left-hand bottom, I guess it's called that modulation. It's flowing pretty well right now with this little rig going. So that's a neat little radio. I like it. Thank you, Dennis. 37.
All right, 37, we got you. We'll be right to you. Sounding good. You are, Paul, you are right in my noise levels. You are not moving the S meter at all. Plus, I have the extra noise going on tonight. I've got the RF gain backed off a little bit to keep the noise floor from creeping up. But your audio, believe it or not, and with the microphone you have, is what's helping things out there. With the Hallicrafters, those series of little phones, you have to be careful, because if you are on the stock microphone and you get too close, those radios will flat top. They will start clipping the audio, because I don't think they had some type of any clipper circuit. So you are not there yet. You are just about where you need to be on the audio side. And I have a feeling that maybe we're going to have another Hallicrafters right after you, so stay tuned for that. Radio 6, the Hallicrafters CB7. We'll go back to you for transmission, Paul, and thanks for bringing it by.
Yeah, okay. Let's go up on a picture of the turn mic. And this right here is not a turn mic. It's stock on the thing. It's an electro voice. Stock microphone. Very simple microphone out there. Oh, thanks a lot again, Dennis. And I'm going to just see you on the iPad, I believe. I can watch it just see on TikTok. Thanks a million.
All right, and thanks for bringing by Radio 6, the Hallicrafters CB7. And let's see, I wanted to say hello to some of our listeners on the digital side. Robert is back out there again tonight, checking in. Number 648, thanks for tuning in again tonight. We are not having the secondary camera working on the video, so not having the pictures I want, but we do have them up at oldtuberadio.net at the live stream. So if you've got that as well, you'll be able to see some of the video that we're doing. Also, hello to Crazy Bob, who runs one of the best vintage CB radio Facebook pages, where I am becoming educated quite often from all the great members of that particular Facebook site. And Mr. Crazy Bob DJ, who is going to be back in the DJ chair coming up soon. I think you said doing the overnights. That's one thing I never did. I did overnights in television, but it's not quite the same as having to run the board on a radio station. I don't think it's normally at a TV station you don't hear from the from the board up. You just have to keep things running. But I have a feeling you're going to be a lot busy. So good luck on that. Should be fun. And when you have the bug, when you've got the sickness, you just never get over it. So be curious to see. You mentioned you might try to do some streaming video as well. So that could be fun. So thanks Bob, for the Facebook page, and looking forward to getting you back on the air. All right, we are looking for radio number 7 here at the Old Tube Radio Network.
Number 7.
Oh, all right. There's number 7. Number 7 could be a 7.
Oh, there's somebody else there.
All right, I heard a carrier, but no audio. All right, go ahead, Ed, and then we will see if we can pick up the other station if they get audio.
Well, in that case, I'll announce it that way with the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB.
All right, might be a Browning Laboratory kind of evening here. Let me find the Mark III SSB transmitter receiver combination and put that up on the big board. Maybe. Okay. Boy, things are slow all the way around. I think something else is going to break, so we'll just tiptoe. We'll tiptoe along to the Old Tube Radio Network and see if we can run another 45 minutes without major items of interest. There it is at oldtuberadio.net, and here it is on your speaker. Go ahead.
And this one, like that one, also has the Golden Eagle D104 limited edition microphone also connected. My on-the-air light's the opposite of that one. That one's got a gold case, mine's got a dark one. Other than that, they're pretty similar.
Yeah, that is the one that Cliff has that has some very interesting items. So thanks for making this distinction. I'm going to say the one we're showing is more of a rarity. What you described there, what you have is more of the standard version for the Mark III SSB. You can run them stacked like that, but I think another way to do it, probably a better way to do it, is side by side if you've got the radio desk real estate, because those are convection cooling, and they can probably keep things a little bit cool. But I've never heard of. I've heard of some of the Tram Diamond series overheating and doing bad things, but I don't know if I've ever heard that happening with the Browning. I think they were designed quite well to not do that. AMSSB, a big deal in 1972 if you had the $700+ to bring it home.
Oh, there you go, big radio. Yes, I like to have mine side by side. I just think it looks better that way, and like I said, I think it's better for the cooling. Keep them just a little bit running cooler that way.
That's true. Although, when it comes to transistors, of course, you've got to think about keeping things cool and heat sinks. When it comes to tubes, not so much. You don't have to worry too much about your room temperature, the cooling temperature, maybe for the power supply. In fact, they used to have one of the video engineers that has been around here in town a long time talk about the early video vans where the most of the equipment, the audio boards and the cameras, of course, and the tape machines were tubes. They were vacuum tubes. And he said they didn't even have air conditioning. He said they didn't need air conditioning because they were tubes, and the machines, the equipment really didn't care how hot it was. He says once they started going solid state, they had to have all sorts of air conditioning and venting because the solid state stuff would not work when it got too hot. So the versatility of tubes, once again. Radio number 7, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, Mr. Ed of the Microphonium. We're going to go back to him for another transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
And back to the short ping mode. That way, when I first key up, I won't be screaming.
37 again.
All right, no need to scream, and I hear audio now. Hello, 37, over.
Yeah, I was trying to get in there.
All right, you have audio now. We heard a carrier, but there was no audio, so that must have been you, but it is working now. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's my mic plug here. It's kind of loose on there, so I gotta do some work to it. But anyway, this SWL37. I am checking in my Citizens little phone, the Helicrafters model CD3A.
All right, the Helicrafters fans are happy tonight because here's another little phone. This one a bit earlier, the CB3A, but I think as we're going to see when it comes up, it is not much different. Not much different than the CB7 that we heard moments ago from Paul. Give us a transmission.
Okay. Now, also on this here, I am running the original handheld stock carbon microphone.
And it does a good job. Plenty of audio. I think to get the radio to flat top, you'd have to be in that thing shouting, which you don't need to do. So it's sounding good. Over.
Well, I got one in. We'll see what I can do later.
All right, you have radio number 8 tonight. The Helicrafter CB3A making its debut in 1963, probably late 62 if you look at some of the magazines, but 1963 sold for about $160. They had a 110-volt version, a 12-volt DC version, I guess, if you have the right power cord, and the Helicrafters was able to do all that with only 7 tubes, believe it or not. Anyone wanting more information, if you go to old2radio.com, it looks like there's a schematic for that radio that you can download. Thanks, and the Old 2 Radio Network listening. Let me try the Jingle Singers again. Of course, Bozo Control not here tonight to sort of run the cables tonight if there's any issue, and we'll see how friendly they are.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Okay, got the page to refresh here and go back over to the SWL list. And we've got Virginia online. Didn't see you earlier, but got you now there, John. I'm trying to find the... What did I do with it? Oh, okay, it's buried under all the paperwork here. Trying to find the right page to get John checked in out of Fairfax, Virginia. There's the X and the square, and we'll go up to the big board to do it officially here on the Old Tube Radio Network. We're looking for what radio? Radio number 9.
Number 9. Number 9. Number 9.
Okay, I don't even know what song that's from. I know it's the Beatles. All right, we got. Let me make sure we got 128 in there. We do. And number 9. Go ahead. Over.
Okay. Yes, it was the Beatles. I believe it was on the Apple album, the white covered one. That's the one it was on. But anyway, this is not an Apple. This is a G Power Mate by Jim Marine Products. 23 channel tuber that glows in the dark with the red light showing transmit, and when I unkey, the RX shows that I'm receiving. And it's only showing right now as I am keying down on the RF meter, showing my relatively out power, whatever you want to call it there. That's what it's doing. It's swinging to the right, which I'm looking to the east, and you're to the right of me. That'd be the south, so that is to the right, right? And I am running this here also with the amplified D104 Lollipop microphone.
All right, you've got it adjusted quite nicely. Audio is good and clear, not distorted. Just a reminder, all our photos, all our video shots of the radios tonight will be over at oldtuberadio.net if you're at Google watching the video there. For some reason, not accepting the secondary camera tonight, so you're going to see a lot of me, which probably isn't that exciting, but the radios are on display over at oldtuberadio.net, including the one that we're talking with now. That's the G Power Mate. It looks like it's the radio on Chris is actually using. Back to you.
Yes, that is the picture that was taken right here in my radio room, right here with my radio sitting right there with the microphone. You can see the stand sticking right up on top. You might need glasses. I don't know how your eyes are, but that is mine anyway.
All right, sounding good. I lost a little bit of the transmission. The carrier was there, but the audio went away. Are you using the same microphone that you had on the Helicrafters?
No. No, they're entirely different. The Helicrafters already know what it is. The mic plug on that thing there, the wiring is good. It's just this on the mic plug in that, it's 2 mils going into the female type thing. And they're kind of loose there, so I actually had to I found out if I push on a little bit. So what I'm going to do later on, I'm going to add a little bit of solder to the tips of those things there, which will help give me a little bit better connection. This here was just me getting lazy on the arm on this thing, keying it down. So it's not the same mic, but it's just me getting lazy.
All right, well, this is not the Get Lazy frequency, at least not for another 35 minutes or so, till we sign out of here. We want everybody to do the best they can to give us a few radios, and you are doing quite well, as you always do, Chris. Our radio number 9, your radio number 2, the Jim Marine Products G Power Mate, great picture of that very radio in which you're talking at oldtuberadio.net, and the audio right here. We'll go back to you for another transmission. Thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Okay, Dennis. Well, I'm going to try to get another one in here before it gets too darn late. So I'll get out of here and see which one I can fire up and see which one gets hot quick.
All right, and we are standing by in the Old Tube Radio Network. Now, we had such good luck on the jingle singers earlier. I'm going to try them again, just because we can here.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
the station for you is
OTR.
Yeah, I want to show Bozo Control that we can run this show without him here.
Well, actually, if Bozo was there, he'd probably be eating cookies if he had any.
Yeah, well, they're hanging out in the donut aisle there with the jingle singers. They always I always wait until they're all out of the room, and then I sort of announce that we're going to do the jingle singers and make them all run back. That's how mean I am.
Okay, well, can I check in number 10?
You can, boy, you must have the home game because you're keeping track better than I here. And indeed, if you are making a check-in, you would have radio number 10, over.
Okay, but it's on channel 11.
That's even better, because if it's on channel 10, I might be able to hear you. You know, I do my best. If you can get close to channel 11, I'll try and get you tuned in. But I have a feeling that I'm not going to have to do that with your radio 10.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm going to check in my Chris 23 Plus, 23 channel transceiver with the original handheld stock microphone. I almost said carbon, but it's not carbon. It's just a stock handheld microphone.
Over. All right. I was seeing we get a shot of the Chris radio, which I know is there, but as the way things have been going all day, now it looks like the oldtuberadio.com site is crashing. But your radio is sounding good for number 10. So give us another transmission on the KRIS 23 Plus.
Okay. Well, now, last week and the week before, I was the one crashing. My throat and asthma just wasn't doing me good, so. But yeah, this is mine, and it's working, so I'm able to do something tonight. Not a whole lot, but I'm... excuse me, but this is mine.
All right, and we are glad that it is yours, and you can share it with us here at the Old Tube Radio Network. I'm going to log it in at 9:29, the Chris 23 Plus, and that's been a good one for you.
Okay, well, I think so.
And thanks for radio number 10. Well, you know, everything is back here. Let's see if I'll get one more shot here. There we go. And if you're at oldtuberadio.net, the Chris 23 Plus should look something like that. Yeah, that's one of the Panasonic import chassis. There you go. Plus it has, I bet you didn't know this, it has plate modulation. I think all the Panasonics did. That's why they sound good. Our was a T-Berry Model T of earlier, also running on that same platform with the plate modulation. Unlike the Hallicrafters with 7 tubes, this has 11. And if you want more information about it, or maybe you've got your eye on one on eBay, we have the operator's manual at oldtuberadio.com.
You know, I thought we was done with that, and I turned it off real quick, but I'm back.
Did you hear me? Did you hear the jingle singer signing out? No, do not turn off yet.
No, I was going to another radio.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, if I was guessing, I think I might know which radio you would like to check in now, but I could be wrong. Because hint, it will be Radio 11. This is hello frequency.
Yeah, I kind of lost everything there for a minute.
All right, this is a test of your radio, the Old Tube Radio Network 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, well, I'm getting off this and getting on to another one, but this is my 23 Chris.
All right, the Chris 23 Plus sounding good. It is Radio 10. We are looking for Radio 11 on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Break OTR.
Oh, my goodness. Break OTR. Go ahead, please.
Can I check in number 11?
You can check in number 11. Over.
Over and and under, and this is going to be over and under and almost done. But this is my number 11 radio. That's right, this is 11. This is my general radio, Super MC11A, 24-channel tuber. It glows in the dark with the original, I guess it's original, handheld stock microphone. We are on channel 11, yes, and this is the one with the little old man in the wheelchair up there with his IV thing, getting his, whatever, what it could be, well, IV dripper anyway. Anyway, he's getting the fluids into him there, hydrate him, that's what he's doing. But this is my general.
And what a difference, back to back with the other radios. That is just far superior in audio, and even a little bit on the S meter looks like it's running good. That just has some really nice audio, nice and loud, and believe it or not, using the standard supplied non-amplified microphone. Doing a good job for Radio 11. The photos, the video, the pictures of the radios tonight are over at oldtuberadio.net. If you're watching the streaming video, for some reason Google's not recognizing the second camera, even though it's there, even though it's functioning, it's not picking up on the switch. So if you'd like to see the radios that you're hearing, you can kick in to oldtuberadio.net, and we will have it posted there. But even better than that is the audio, and that's what we're talking about now, is always right where you're at. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, you know why they call this a general? You know, the generals and sergeants, generals, majors, all those people, lieutenants, whatever, you know, they were all loud. So that's why they gave this the name of the general.
Yeah, I think that has definitely graduated boot camp long ago. The Super MC11A, an upgrade from the Super MC11. And this was type accepted. The next model of the 12, I think, never got type accepted. 9 tubes, a couple of transistors thrown in for good measure. If you want to find out more about it, and you got the Sam's PhotoFax CB22, Sam's 22. It's on page 45, and some magic inside there, I think, is probably its modulator output, the ECLL 800 tube. Sounding good. Go back to you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Magic Johnson there for a minute. Excuse me. But anyway, yeah, this is mine, and it's still working, and everything is going definitely to the right. I'm sitting here watching everything swing.
All right, well, it definitely sounds like it is doing that. Just a reminder for our radio operators, if you'd like to hear how your radio sounded, how well your radio sounded, Net Control, you can do it one of two ways. You can go to oldtuberadio.net, and we have an archive button at the top of the page. If you click on that and wait a little bit for the OTR magnetophone to load all those little tiny 3-inch reel-to-reel tapes, and it's a little playback machine, and you'll be able to hear what you did tonight, or probably for the last 4 or 5 years, if you pick the right date, and whether it's an SWL or a tube radio check-in, and hear the replay. You will be pleased, I'm sure. Also, we leave the videos up for a while as well, where you can hear the audio. Also, Radio 11, the General Radio Telephone, Super MC11. Back to you, Chris. Thanks for bringing it by.
Okay, Dennis, no problem. I do have one more over here warming up, so I will return.
All right, and we will be here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And sending our positive old tube radio healing thoughts your way, Robert 648 out there, whose friend was in a bad car accident. So hope everybody can get on the mend as soon as possible. We are looking for Radio 12 here at the old tube radio network.
Number 12. Number 12.
That's the flip side of that song I never heard. Number 12, hello.
That's the newest version of it. Anyway, Dennis, this time here, oh man, that's showing some good modulation there on this radio, huh? Anyway, I bet you can guess what this one is. This is my Courier Royale 23 channel tuner, glows in the dark with all the knobs and the blinking lights and things like that, and the ever popular hidden knobs in the back of this thing here. So you got 4, 6, 7 in front, 1, 2, 3 in the back. So, you know, there wasn't enough room, so you got the tuner load back there and then the modulation. So, it's working, and then it's got a couple of switches here, PACB, and then RF and modulation light here. So, right now, what I got it on? I think I got it on the SR meter. Yeah, there we go. That's both of them right there. And if I switch it over to here, it just shows strictly modulation. But that puppy just bounces crazy off the walls, so I'll just leave it right there.
It's working. Lots of controls. That's one of the fun part. As an SWL, always nice to hear the radios, but a lot of the fun is being in the operator's seat and driving them. And you heard Chris kind of give you a bird's eye view of what it takes to get that thing out on the road. Lots of controls and functions and things on the back, and you got to be ready to go and make sure that it is functioning. Radio 12, the Courier Royale, and I guess by the process of elimination, I could have figured out that it's got to be the Courier because there's nothing else left. But that also has a distinctive sound. Out of all the radios you have, it has a timbre, kind of a frequency response that the other radios don't have. 11 tubes, Collins mechanical 6 kilohertz filter on the receive side to help make me sound better. I like that.
Well, that's one thing nice about it. You know, I've got down here it says quieting, sensitivity, range plus thing, tune, volume, tone, squelch, you know, it's got a lot, it's fun to play with.
And that's why we are here every Saturday, so it gives you an opportunity to do just that. Take some time out. We appreciate everybody taking time out of their evenings, Saturday evenings, with family time and everything like that to jump in and say hello to us on the radio. Give us another transmission on your 11-tube Courier Royale. Oh, and did I mention that there is a service manual for that radio available at oldtuberadio.com? Back to you.
You know, I've probably got one here, too, a service manual. I'm not sure. I've got manuals to a few of these radios that came with it and everything. So I got a few paperwork here and there for this and that and other things. But anyway, Dennis, I did shoot my glory all of them all. I have no more. As you said, you could guess which one that one was. This was number 12. But actually, it was number 5 for me. But anyway, I did get them all checked in, and now I will just sit back and kind of monitor the rest of it. And hopefully Harvey and them will come in there and get some generals or something other in there. Or even, get somebody up there like Paul got his helicopters in there. We need another helicopters in out there. I know there's another one or two of them out there just getting them to fire those puppies up. Anyway, Dennis, thank you for being there, and I'm going to get out of here and let somebody else get in there and flap their gums for a bit.
All right, good deal. Yeah, we did pretty good on the helicopters so far tonight. We've got 2. Sometimes it takes us all month to get to 2. We are looking, you know why? We're waiting for Lucky Radio 13. Let's have the jingle singers, if they can, tell us about the magic of the old Tube Radio Network.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic
Old Tube Radio.
for you.
And this is Radio Magic on another radio just to listen.
Oh, if you're on the other radio, I could go sideband now, huh?
Yes, you could.
Well, actually, I am. I am on sideband. I'm on double sideband. I'm just not suppressed carrier. I'm a full modulated double sideband carrier.
Oh, okay. Which radio are you on?
I'm just on an AM radio. Yeah, if you go to lower sideband, you should hear me just fine. If you go to upper sideband, you should hear me just fine because I am on AM, and which has the double sideband as well.
And I heard you on all three.
And let's see, if you have one of the newer radios, it will interpolate your upper and lower frequencies for you. So all you have to do is flip a switch. On some of the other radios, like the ASU, like the FT101 series, you tune somebody in on AM. When you click over to the sideband, then you're going to make another adjustment, whether it's lower or upper, to center in on the sideband carrier.
Well, actually, I was listening to you. I listened to you on AM, FSK, AM, sideband, lower sideband, upper sideband. Heard you on CW, and I even heard you on the tune.
Okay, yeah, tune typically on those radios is also CW because it puts out a carrier so you can tune up an amplifier or something. So it just kicks the receiver into CW mode. And depending on how your radio is set, your CW is either upper or lower. But in theory, it is going to go through a much narrower filter. So I may sound a little bit different. I may sound a little bit different like that when you're in the CW position rather than in a sideband position.
Well, actually, even when I had put it on the CW, I got a high-pitched tone with it also because of it being the CW part.
Oh, okay. Well, your CW is probably offsetting 600 or 700 cycles for the offset because you have to do that to get the tone. So that's what it's doing. It's taking the center frequency, which we're at, and then when you switch over to it, it shifts it 700 or 600 cycles either up or down to actually insert a tone. So that's how I would do CW. If I was... If you went to CW and I just keyed my microphone up and down, you would hear what would sound like Morse code because that's indeed how it works.
Well, I got over there in my pitch and tune part. I was going at different highs and lows, picking out. I bet you high tone, low tone, in between tone, different tones.
All right, well, get the correct tone. All right, let me stop talking here so we can find if Radio 13 does exist.
Hopefully.
And over to the SWL side, SWL 28. Hello, Dennis. Let me find the check-ins here tonight. Well, what has happened is for some reason, Google is not allowing the secondary camera to switch over properly. It is functioning, so that means there's an awful lot of me. And I thought, well, if people are going to have to look at me tonight, I better dress up a little bit, even though I still look like me. So that's the deal. So if you want to see the radios as they check in, oldtuberadio.net is the place to go. Anyway, 28, we've got you checked in. And thanks for listening here in the Mid-Century Modern Radio Room. What about the commentary? Over.
Commentary, although the defense zone, the team has to go great back pressure.
I'm not showing that. Refresh your page. I wouldn't put it past something strange happening tonight, though. KB6 GFD. Actually sounds like my buzzy static is starting to go away. The noise floor is getting a little bit less noisy. One can only wonder, what is that comes and goes like that? You go trompsing around trying to find these things and just never find it, and then it goes away by itself. Not as bad and annoying, though, as the plasma generator from a couple of years ago that is actually still on the archives. And I hope I didn't jinx anything by just mentioning it. The Old Tube Radio Network looking for Radio 13. And waving a hand, welcome back to Butterbean from Georgia with his Messenger 2. Well, we had a 223 tonight. And I've got my, although it's off camera somewhere, my Viking Messenger 1, the white face, Messenger 2, a pretty decent radio. So thanks for bringing it by. Break. And the break, go ahead, please.
Okay, number 20, checking in a Browning Golden Eagle from Browning Laboratories. The R68 custom microphone.
Okay, let me make sure I got you tuned in there, Harvey. The Browning Golden Eagle we had earlier. I've got a light that keeps going off and on for no apparent reason. We had the Eagle, the R68, I'm sorry, the RS23, I'll get this right. I've done this before. The R27 S23, and now we have advanced to the Golden Eagle R68 T68. Go ahead.
Hey, Roger. Okay, next week I might have an item of interest. It's not quite ready for this week, so kind of interesting find. I was at Bill's shop. Last week, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and the gentleman walked in with a whole lot of old gear, an old shortwave radio, the Hallicrafter S77, not the 77A with the green dial, but 77, a couple of mobiles, a scanner, and this item. And I was in the back, and Al Pumpy said, Harvey, get your butt out here. And I go, okay. And I looked, and he wanted to sell everything. So I looked, and I don't know why I even thought about it for a day, but next day, I said, yes. And now I'm working on it, and it'll be an item of interest next week.
All right, we're looking forward to that. Yeah, a great find. And remind me, we got to talk about the shop over there and what they're going to be doing here coming up in this month. Showing right now, we switched from your R68 T68 to, I wanted to get Hallicraft. We've been having a good luck with Hallicraft tonight. There is the S77, which is a really classic. They're a classic sort of half moon tuning dial style and a built-in speaker. But in fact, I even mentioned about their shortwave receivers, which they are known for. So the S77 is up there. And you will keep us in suspense as you often do, but we'll be looking forward to see what it is that hopefully will get peaked and tweaked well enough to get on the air. Over.
The S77, I haven't had time to go over it, but all the band spread and the main tuning controls were frozen, but I was able to put yak fat grease on them, and the fat of yak will do it every time, and they're now pre-turning and works really great, but I haven't had really time to check all the tunes, etc., and see what's up with it, because I was checking out the other items, the one of interest the 11 meters have. And it's a three-piece radio. There you go. There's the camera. Anyway, I'll let you go. This will be the only one I'm going to check in tonight. Got some business I have to take care of back inside, so I'll do that. The R68 T68 by Browning Laboratories.
All right, very good. Yeah, my receive isn't that great tonight, so you're kind of down on my noise, but I hear you fine, and we got the gist of everything, so we'll be looking forward to that. I got a couple of announcements here. Thanks for Radio 13. One, hello to Tim Tron up there in the Pacific Northwest, who is perhaps, what do we used to say? We used to say heading out to the salt mines. So if that's what you're doing, Tim, good luck and have a great day. But Tim is enjoying everyone's radio as he often does, and he's one of those operators that's multi-banded. He's got his ham call and goes just about anywhere he wants. And speaking of that, that's a great segue, Tim, to my next item of interest here. If you've been thinking perhaps about getting your ham ticket or upgrading the one you've got, we have good news for you, because the upcoming Red Monkey Swap Meet coming up May 20th, Saturday, will allow you to do just that, with some other things as well, because they're going to have the VE examiners there, as they often do. And they do quite well in getting everybody passed, assuming that you've studied the things you need to study. So you shouldn't be afraid to head out there. The Red Monkey, along with Central Valley Radio Club, the CVRC, and the Madera Amateur Radio Club, holding their CB Ham Radio Swap Meet Saturday, May 20th, 2017, in Central California, in Fresno. This is going to be at a different venue this year, over at the North Point Community Church, that's located up Milburn, south of Herndon, so on the northwest side. It runs from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, with, of course, the morning being the VE exam sessions and the radio swap meet and the meet and greet. If you want to meet some people you've been talking to on the air, that's a good way to do it. And then, of course, as it approaches noontime, the raffle and the barbecue hamburgers and all the good stuff that is the swap meet put out by Red Monkey and the Central Valley Radio Club. That is March. Here I go again. That is May 20th, coming up here in a couple of weeks on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12. And study your test. Get your ticket. If you've got plenty of time to go online and get into your general. What is it now? Novice? There's no novice. Technician? General? Get that first ticket. And they can do that for you there as well. All right, let me, the Jingle Singers one more time, and then we'll be listening, see if we can't get radio number 14 in there.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR.
Let's do some adding.
27.085 megahertz.
Holiday amount to
Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
radio.
Old Tube Radio.
And over on the SWL list, I always like it when we get another SWL check-in before we head out the door. On page 3, hello, Patrick.
Hi, trying to sneak in here before the door closes.
Okay, well, we don't shut it too hard. It's really easy to sneak through this door.
All right. This is SWL 75 checking in, and you guys have a nice evening.
All right, we are having a great evening so far, getting past all the weird lighting and broken things and radios that aren't showing up, but we're doing well. Getting ready to count an amount here in the Old Tube Radio Network. It's 10 o'clock already here on the West Coast, so thanks for those who are staying up late tonight, watching on the video, which hasn't been all that exciting because for some reason Google is not allowing the second camera to patch through, but we've got them over at old tuberadio.net. So, with that said, I'm going to be doing some counting and mounting, and we've still got room for radios and check-ins here in the next couple of minutes.
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Yeah, be modern here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Looking for Radio 14. And will we get rain tonight? I don't know. The temperature has dropped. This has not been the 90-degree, 80-degree evenings that we've had all week. It's a little bit of a cool breeze coming through the window, but it feels kind of nice. Let's do some counting and mounting. I think if I can get their attention over there, I guess I'm officially supposed to wait until the fanfare happens before I give counting. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR total.
This will be the current and final totals. So that I can get out of here on time and let you all go. Thanks for tuning in to the Old Tube Radio Network here. We did get our lucky 13th radio thanks to Harvey. And we had 49 SWLs check in tonight. 10 on page 1, 17 on page 2, 10 on page 3. And 12 on page 4 for a total of 49. And did anyone run away with it? No, we had a pair of Brownings check in tonight. And we had 2 Hallicrafters check in tonight. So Chris was right. We got one more Hallicrafters. They would have been the most heard radio. Actually, we got the SX77 up there, but I can't... I can't count that. Radio number 1, Mr. Ed and the Robin T123, sounding good as always. Paul on the R27S23 Series 2 from Browning, radio number 2. Radio number 3, Ed on his E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. A lot of Johnson fans in tonight. Butterbean, who's got the whole line, I think. He's got the Messenger 2, and some others. So I know we got some Johnson fans in there. Plus, we had some of the crew from Minnesota on tonight, I believe. Who was next? The T-Berry Model T. That was Paul on the plate-modulated T-Berry, sounding good. The Tram TR27 ER1 Tram of the evening, 1963 when that came out. Thanks, Ed, for that. Paul on his Hallicrafters CB7. Mr. Ed on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. You know what? I take that back. We had 3 Brownings tonight. So there you go. The Browning's the most heard manufacturer. I missed that, the Mark III there. So Browning's the top heard model tonight. Hallicrafters CB3A from Chris. Thanks for bringing that by. He also had radios 9, 10, 11, and 12. He had the Gen Marine Products G Power Mate, the Chris 23 Plus, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. And that is a very loud radio. Just a reminder, we archive. You can go to the archive button at oldtuberadio.net. Bring down the OTR magnetophone and check out the radios if you want to hear how your radio sounded. Great way to check microphones too. If you've got some microphones you want to check out, keep that in mind, and we run that in the archive. You'll be able to hear how it sounded. You don't have to everybody tell you it sounded good. You can say, yeah, that did sound good, or maybe it didn't sound good. Who knows? Courier Royale was Chris's radio number 12, and the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 with a promise from Harvey that we've got something in the works that is new to OTR, and if all goes well, we will be hearing it next week. I want to say thank you to our technical crew at SearchLawrence.com that helped keep the Nixie tubes and all that affiliated things running, and hopefully whatever strange anomaly is going on with the video will not be happening next week, and we'll be able to get you shots of the radios as they check in. 73, everybody. We will do this again next week. The Old Tube Radio Network at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Saturdays at oldtuberadio.net, 27085, and maybe some skip conditions if they happen. Good night, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, OTR.
And I'm going to straighten my tie and say good night. Well, there it is. And say good night to our video people. Good night.